ever wonder what history class left out about ancient Asia? Textbooks show us the Great Wall, the Silk Road, and mighty emperors, but what about the everyday stuff? What did people actually eat for breakfast? How did they travel? What were their biggest worries, or their wildest dreams? Get ready, because we're about to take a deep dive into the parts of ancient Asian history that schools never teach you. This isn't just about dynasties and dates. It's about the real lives, the brilliant ideas, and the strange customs that shaped a continent. Let's start with something we all love: food. We often think of rice as the staple, and it was, but the variety was incredible. In ancient China, people were already making noodles and tofu thousands of years ago. In India, complex spice blends weren't just for flavor. They were part of Ayurvedic medicine, designed to balance the body. And did you know ancient Koreans developed one of the world's earliest fermentation techniques? This wasn't just about preserving food for winter. It was about creating complex, gut-healthy dishes like early forms of kimchi. People foraged for wild vegetables, hunted game, and even had street food stalls in bustling cities. It was a culinary world far richer and more diverse than just a simple bowl of rice. Now, let's talk about innovation. We hear about the 4 great inventions of China: paper making, printing, the compass, and gunpowder. But what about the small, life-changing inventions? Think about makeup. Ancient Chinese and Japanese women used rice powder for foundation and safflower petals for lipstick. In India, they pioneered cataract surgery with a special curved needle. It was a delicate, risky procedure, but it shows an incredible understanding of anatomy. They also developed the concept of zero and the decimal system, which are the foundations of all modern mathematics. And let's not forget entertainment. From shadow puppetry in Southeast Asia to complex board games in Persia, people found ingenious ways to have fun and tell stories long before screens existed. These weren't just trinkets. They were signs of highly sophisticated societies solving everyday problems with creativity. So how did people get around? The Silk Road sounds romantic, but for the average person, travel was a serious undertaking. It wasn't just merchants on camels. There were pilgrims walking thousands of miles to sacred sites, officials moving between administrative posts, and even traveling performers. In China, a massive canal system, the Grand Canal, was built, acting as a watery highway connecting the north and south. It was an engineering marvel that revolutionized trade and communication. In maritime Southeast Asia, sailors were masters of the monsoon winds, using them to navigate vast stretches of the Indian Ocean. They built incredible ships, like the Borobudur ships depicted on ancient Javanese temples, capable of long-distance voyages. These journeys weren't for the faint of heart. They were filled with risks like pirates, storms, and disease, but they connected cultures in ways we can hardly imagine today. What about law and order? It wasn't always a case of off with their head. Many ancient Asian societies had incredibly detailed legal codes. The Code of Hammurabi in Mesopotamia is famous, but did you know about the Tang Code from China? It was so comprehensive that it influenced law in Japan, Korea, and Vietnam for centuries. It covered everything from theft to family disputes and even had provisions based on a person's social status. In ancient India, the laws of Manu outlined social obligations and duties. While some of these laws seem harsh or strange to us now, they show a deep concern for creating an orderly society. There were courts, judges, and even early forms of forensic investigation. Justice was a complex and serious business. Let's talk about education. It wasn't for everyone, that's for sure. In many places, it was a privilege reserved for the sons of the elite. In China, the goal was to pass the imperial examinations, a grueling series of tests on Confucian classics. Success meant a prestigious government job. This system created a class of scholar officials who were experts in literature and philosophy. In ancient India, education was often centered around religious teachings at a guru's home, known as a gurukul. Students would learn scriptures, mathematics, and philosophy. But there were also great universities, like Nalanda in India, which was a massive international center of learning. It attracted students from all over Asia to study subjects ranging from medicine to logic and astronomy. It was like the Ivy League of the ancient world. What did people believe? Religion and philosophy were woven into the fabric of daily life. Beyond the major religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and Taoism, there was a world of local spirits, ancestor worship, and folk beliefs. People believed that mountains, rivers, and even trees had spirits that needed to be respected. A farmer might make an offering to a local earth god for a good harvest. A family would honor their ancestors at a home altar, believing their spirits watched over them. These beliefs weren't separate from their daily routine. They guided their actions, their ethics, and their understanding of the world. It was a world where the spiritual and the physical were deeply intertwined, where every part of nature was alive with meaning. So, from the food on their plates to the laws that governed them, the lives of people in ancient Asia were full of details that are often lost in our broad strokes history lessons. They innovated, they explored, they created complex social structures, and they sought to understand their place in the universe. These are the stories that bring history to life, transforming it from a list of names and dates into a vibrant tapestry of human experience. The next time you think of ancient Asia, don't just picture emperors on thrones. Picture the inventor tinkering with a new tool, the chef perfecting a spice blend, or the student cramming for an exam that could change their life. That's where the real history is. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the hidden corners of ancient Asia. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history they didn't teach you in school. Let me know in the comments what part of ancient life you find most fascinating. See you in the next video.